Hello everyone, my name is Abhida and I started an agency in August of 2023, and today I'm going to be talking about my sales numbers because we did pretty bad at sales. So before going into the video and looking at the actual sales data that we did for the month of August, which was the first month in our operations, I would like to introduce you to a sales tracker that I use to track all of my leads to basically cash collected revenue in the deals close, even the objections, follow-ups, every single thing. So uh, yeah, you'll find the actual Google Sheet link in the description, and you can use this as a CRM, and it is pretty much in depth. If in case you need to add anything else, you can just go ahead, click on file, make a copy, and make an edit, right? Otherwise you can just enter your data and then you're ready to go. So as you can see, this is the sales tracker that I use for my agency too. So every lead that comes in, every single reply that we get, that goes in the same tracker. This has one yearly tracker so that you can put all of your leads in one, in one sheet, so that you have all the leads of that year in one sheet, and then you can do monthly into different sheets that I've created. So you can enter their full name, their phone number, their email, the status. So you'll have booked, didn't answer, close rate, unqualified, not interested, bad data, and stuff like that. Whether you call them in the first 5 minutes, whether you made the first contact or not. When you call them in the first 5 minutes, were you able to make the first contact? If yes, then you can check mark it. And then was the intro call booked? You can add some notes here. Now, I just wanted to take some time and tell you about, if you want to add more status here, you can basically click edit and add another item, choose a color for it, choose a name for it, and then click done. And then it will basically ask you whether you want to apply this to all of your, to the entire column, and then you can press yes and you're done. So were you able to call them in the first 5 minutes? Did the first contact was the first contact made? Intro call booked or not? Notes, did they show up on the intro call? Were they qualified? Was the sales call booked or not? What's the notes? Like, if you want to, anything that you want to mention about the intro call, you can mention it here. You can also mention, did they show up on the sales call? Offer made or not? Closed or not? What objections did you face? What are the notes? Did you schedule a follow-up call with them if they were not closed? Did you set up a meeting date, meeting time? What was it? And then did you send them the paperwork on the call, invoice collected or call or not? And then cash collected, revenue, everything. Now, this is for follow-ups. If you did follow up for the first day 2 times, then you can check 1, 2, 3 consecutively for the number of days you do it. If you want to add more days, you can add more columns. And then you can basically click on status and check a different status if it changed after following up with those leads, right? And at the end of the month, it would give you all the data automatically, calculating the total number of leads, first contact rate, out of those total leads, intro calls booked, show up rate for intro calls, show up rate for sales call booked, every single thing. Even how many leads do you need to make one intro call based on your previous data? How many leads do you need to take one sales call? How many leads do you need to take one close? Okay, you can even put in the desired number of closes. So let's say if I want to make 10 closes this month, how many sales calls do I need to take? How many intro calls do I need to take? Now, this will be calculated based on your closing rate. So you don't have to worry about that, okay, my closing rate is only 5%. And it's pretty, I'm sorry for the background noise, it's pretty shit for me. So don't feel sorry for yourself, you're just gonna notice it in the video. So yeah, that's it about the tracker. If you wanna make use of it, you can just go ahead, in the description, click the link, it will open this file, click on file, make a copy, and then you'll be able to basically edit it and use it. So now let's get into the video where I would be talking about the actual sales data. Throughout the month, there were 167 people who actually showed interest in what we had to offer, and 64 people didn't even pick up the call. So that's almost 50%. Now, this happened because we were not calling the people on time. We were not calling them in the first 5 minutes, or not even in the first 10 minutes. of them coming in, but it may even go up to a day, which is not good. And in some cases, we couldn't really do anything about it because some people responded at night, so we can call them at that time. And the next day, they didn't pick up the call. So yeah, 64%, that's almost like 50%, a little bit less, but that's a lot of deals that I lost there. And an additional 7 people were not interested and 4 people who were unqualified. So those 7 people who were not interested were not actually not interested. We just called them extremely late. So we called them 2 or 3 days late, and that's why they were not interested. All 7 of them. This is what was common amongst all 7 of them, because we were not seeing any person who was not interested who picked up the call and was not interested anymore. Only because if we call them 2 or 3 days late, they would not even recognize us and thus not interested. Okay, and 4 people were upright not qualified, so that's down the drain. So in reality, only 84 people out of those 167 leads actually booked in an intro call with us. So that's 50%, 50.30% to be exact, which is pretty shit, and we could improve on it. So out of 84 people who booked in an intro call with us, only 66 people showed up. So that's 78%, something around 78.57% to be exact. And that is okay, that I can work with that. So it's all right. And out of those 66 people, now this is one of the good numbers, is out of those 66 people, only 7 people did not go to a sales call. So 59 people booked in sales call with us, which is good. And this is a whooping 89.39%. Crazy. So this is good. 59 people booked in a sales call with us. But after that are the shittiest number that I could ever achieve, which is out of those 59 people that booked in a sales call, only 26 people showed up, which is less than 50%, 44% to be exact, 44.07. So it is pretty shit. And I know how to improve it, and I'll talk about it after we talk about the numbers. And out of those 26 people who actually showed up on the call and went through an entire sales presentation and everything, only 3 people were closed, which is again dog shit. Okay, I need to improve on this. We need to improve on sales. We need to improve on converting the sales, because if you could only improve this close rate, we could improve our entire sales. We just don't have to worry about any single number above it. We just have to improve the close rate and we'll be fine. But in reality, there are 3 numbers that we need to work on. And before getting onto that, it's not actually 3 people that were closed and paid. There were more 3 people who were closed, but they never really paid. So they said, yes, let's do it. And when they hopped up the call, they ghosted us completely. Never picked up the call. If we called them from a different number, they said, oh, I'm in a hospital. I don't know what shit, but they never paid. Now, one prospect who said yes and did not close had these things to say. He went on to the hospital for the next 7 days, from what he told me. After those 7 days, his phone got locked and he couldn't open it, so he had to erase his entire data. And when he called, he immediately recognized me, but it's okay, he must have synced it. So he had to erase all his data. His bank accounts got removed from the phone, and to add the bank account back into the phone, he had to visit the bank. So that was causing another 2 to 3 days delay. After he added the bank, he had some overdue payments that he had to make. He did that, and then he was busy with some bottled up task that he had to do. And at that point, I was like, I could follow up and close him, I would never close him because he was not there to be closed. He was the last mission on the game, but fuck. Anyway, so 3 people were closed. 3 people never paid after being closed, so I'm not gonna count them. And then 4 people said yes, but they want to do it later. So 2 months, 3 months later, which I don't think is gonna count. I'm gonna follow up with them after 2-3 months, but I don't think it's going to convert. Out of those 64 people, out of those 167 people, I have to only work on 3 numbers to be good at sales and acquire more and more clients. And those 3 numbers did not answer, so we had to reduce this number. 64 people are not answering the calls, which is almost 50% of the leads, so that's pretty bad. And the way we're going to do it is call them in the first 5 minutes. And to the people who we cannot call in the first 5 minutes because they entered or they replied to our messages late, I don't know what to do with them. The second number is sales call show up rate, so that's 44%. I have to increase that by adding reminders and SMS, WhatsApp, and call reminders, and also asking a question: is there anything holding you back from coming on this meeting at time, day, prospect name? And if they say no, then I'm going to repeat the same meeting date and meeting time at the time of cutting the call, and that would increase my show up rate tremendously, if I would say, because we're not doing follow-ups right now because it's our first month of operations. It was our first month of operations, and we just had to keep going. So we didn't do any follow-ups, and nor we did have any system to do it. To be honest, like, Go High Level is pretty expensive. I have Zapier, but I have so much integrations and so much more costs involved in it. It's pretty much the same. I'm not finding a reasonable, cost to do it. So I don't know about that, but I have to solve it, and I have been burnt out today, 19th of September, finding a solution for it. I was thinking of building a software that could do it for free for me, and then I could implement that software into my clients' accounts also, so that they don't have to hassle with the follow-ups and everything, so that they could get more show-up rates, But I think it's just a distraction for me right now. I just have to do it and make my numbers better right now, and if it makes sense, then I will add it in future, but right now I should not spend time on it. Anyways, and at last I have to increase the the close rate, which is 11%. I don't know how I'm going to do it. I'm probably going to watch YouTube videos and learn and do more sales, hop on more calls, take more sales calls, see what works, iterate, and discard what doesn't work, and try different things. And also, side by side, watch some videos and read more books. I recently finished How to Win Friends and Influence People. It's a pretty crazy book. You should go ahead and have a read. It's a good read. So yeah, that's about it. I'll meet you in the next video. Bye bye.